what are you doing with your dogs on a day-to-day basis, whether it's exercise, nutrition, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think that part of the reason this particular dog we've had other dogs that haven't made it to 15. But I think part of the reason that he has is because he's still very active, even at 15, even losing his hearing and partially blind. He still makes the trek up and down our driveway, which is about 500 yards long. And he wants to we take our side-by-side out and he runs alongside that. We have to give him breaks more often than we used to. But I think that has done a lot for his longevity, is keeping him doing those things every day. He still wants to go. He just may not always be able to go. But and then, nutrition wise, we feed both of them the same thing. They're on a Purina Pro Plan sport dog formula is what they eat. We sometimes, when we're hunting or if after they've had a lot more activity, we'll add in some like canned food just to get them a little bit more calories and stuff to recover. We don't do a lot with like the extra like electrolyte things you can add into their water. I know some people do that, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, especially at hot times of the year. I mean, they're going to be dehydrated, so you can replenish them a little bit faster that way. So I think that's certainly fine to do. We haven't really needed to. We haven't hunted them that hot of a temperature to need it. But yeah, and then they're both on a joint supplement. We had the old one on it. We started the young one on it, just to keep them, as healthy of joints as we can, keep them mobile, keep them active, try to prevent injury if we can. But the best thing to do is just keep them up, keep them going.
Excellent. It's great. The joint supplement, did you have recommendations for anybody that might want to put their dog on one that doesn't?
Yeah, the one I like the most is Dasequin, and they have several forms. The one that I use is the advanced one because it has a few more of the things I like, which is the MSM and then avocado soybean unsaponifiables, which is abbreviated ASU for obvious reasons. Those things in it. So that's just a once a day thing that I can throw at them. You can also get it on Amazon, and it can be auto shipped, which is nice. So I don't have to remember. But the other ones that I like, Cosequin has another one that's very similar. But I think if you look up just joint supplements for dogs, you can get overwhelmed going down, different rabbit holes of what has what in it. The big things that you want it to have are glucosamine with chondroitin sulfate, MSM, those three, and then anything else that they add on is kind of gravy. Added, omega-3s, none of that is going to hurt anything. But the more you can get in one is kind of my go-to, because I don't want to have to give them 3 different things at a time. If I can get it in one, I want to do that.
It's fair. I think I have Mac is on. It's 2 now, 2 different supplements. I don't know. They have a lot of those ingredients, and I don't remember exactly what the brand is that has it, but yeah. So I've looked at the Dasequin and the Cosequin. Matt, do you have Maggie on anything?
No, which is why I'm typing this into my other tabs while we're listening. Because I knew Mac was on stuff, and she just turned 7, and it's one of those that like you think about it all the time. And my vet says she's super healthy, so I haven't done anything different, but it obviously can't hurt. So yeah, definitely. No, it's not anything that's too late to start or too early to start. It's gonna have some benefit at any point, really.
Yeah, I think I started Mac when he was 2, and then I need to start Ren pretty quick here too. Jeff, what about you? Do you have Josie on anything? Any supplements?
Not really. We've done like the Purina. I think it's the Forta Flora. Is that what it's called? We've done that before. Yeah, like a probiotic type thing. But that's really only like if we're traveling, just to try to kind of keep her gut in check, or if she's not eating very well, we'll kind of add some of that in there to try to reset a little bit. But on a normal basis, no, we haven't really done a whole lot.
Okay. All right. But I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna poke the bear a little bit. Libby, how do you feel about the raw diet?
No, not a fan.
Not a fan. Ooh.
I don't see the benefits of the raw diet that you can't get from other balanced diets. And I mean, a little bit biased sample pool, because I only see animals when they're having a problem. But some of the dogs that get the most ill are the dogs that have been exposed to a raw diet, because they just have a different makeup of bacteria in their system overall, that if they're going to have an illness and then they have any of that shift population of bacteria, they tend to just have more issues with that. So yeah, not a fan of the raw diet. So I'm sorry if that makes me unpopular, but
what about the human grade food varieties that are out now, like where it's cooked meats, but it's human grade?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are fine. Like once it's cooked, right, we're going to have a lot more control of the salmonellas, the E. coli's of the world that are the problems. So I think that those are okay. For me, what I can get out of a 30-pound bag of dog food for my 2 dogs, is fine. And I don't necessarily see the benefit for that extra cost of what they're marketing you as human grade food. Well balanced is well balanced. So I think that's where I've kind of settled, is I'm not going to fall for the gimmicks, I guess. I'm going to just pick one that has the key nutrients that they really need. There's some reasons people have to change, allergies, etc. That can end up, you only have a few options to choose from. So that's why I think some people end up on those diets too. But I don't find that the answer is ever only raw diet is what your dog can eat.
Interesting. I have an opinion here. It's the human grade dog food thing, right? It's just a marketing scheme for people that you treat their dog, that view their dog as a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they treat their dogs better than they treat their family, their kids. But that's my general observation. Mm-hmm. And Matt, I'm surprised he's still on the line here. He does feed the raw diet.
Oh man,
not the human stuff, but I've done actually like way more than most people. Like we've done the microbiome stuff. I've sent it in and seen where her numbers were and like made adjustments based on that back when she was probably 3 years old. So she's been on it since she was 1.5 years. A lot of the food she was on didn't sit very well, and I wasn't going to go to like a Hillsborough like super expensive canned food either at the same time. And we've just stuck with it because it's been fine, and her coat is amazing and she runs better than most other dogs. The other thing I found too was like, I'll have dogs here that, we'll watch somebody's dog that is on one of those bigger branded bag foods that you know of. And like her bowel movements are much more pleasant than some of the other dogs that we do watch sometimes. Like, I don't know, for us, it just works out. But
yeah, I don't think many people know about the checking the biome. So it's interesting you bring that up, because I mean, it's obviously it takes sending it in. It's a cost to do that. But it does help so that and the other thing people don't always think about too is that what they're eating is what they're passing through, right? So if they're eating something that's contaminated with E. coli, salmonella, and you have your kids picking up the poops in the yard, that's exposure. So you have to think about that risk and that exposure too. So I think that's the other side of things that people don't think about when they're feeding a raw diet. So I can respect being responsible about feeding a raw diet, but people that just feed it because they think their dog is still a wolf, I don't understand that.
I mean, to Matt's point, so this is going to lead into my next question because I'm monopolizing the conversation and all the questions, right? Finding a food that sits well with your dog is like such a big thing, right? I've tried like 4 or 5, maybe it was 6 different foods before I landed on feeding Inukshuk, which has been the best food for my dog. It's also the most economical too, because I have 2 dogs and literally it's so calorically dense. A 33 bag lasts 2 dogs for an entire month. It's wild to me. It probably helps that my dogs are supplemented by my daughter's food that they throw at them too. So
that helps.
That helps with some extra calories. But like finding that food that really fits your dog. Do you have you feed Purina Pro Plan? I fed that to my dogs. That was outside of Inukshuk. I fed that longer than any other food that I had tried. Eukanuba, Call the Wild. There's just I mean a ton of different stuff. Are there brands of food that do you have like a staple of foods that you recommend to people who are like, hey, what should I be feeding my dog?
No, I mean, I don't. And if people are truly at a loss, if they've tried a bunch of different ones, then I kind of go down my list of ones that I'm like, okay, if you haven't tried these, then you can try these other ones. But I feel like all of the big brand ones are all pretty similar as far as the balanced nature of it. There's different price points. So obviously everybody's at a different budget. So you never want to say, oh, you should only feed this. but trying to give them ideas of what they should. And I'm not like sponsored or endorsed by any food companies. I know veterinarians get that rap that we're paid off by food companies.